Probably doing it live already.
Yep, I think we may well be live already.
Awesome.
Yep, I've got your notification to say that you are live.
And I think I've got yours.
Yay!
Cool. Okay, guys. You know the drill. It's Monday night, so we're here to talk about the latest episode of Star Trek.
Yes.
What we think about it, what we liked, what we didn't like, and just kind of just go through it, basically.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
I don't know.
That's a good start. That's a good
Right.
start.
Yeah, it is a good start. I literally only just watched it.
Yeah, I watched it a little bit earlier today. Okay, I'll go. So I really like this episode. I think it salvaged itself from what was becoming a bit of a nightmare last episode. We didn't really get on with last episode, did we? Let's be honest.
No,
It
we
was a
didn't.
bit of a struggle for us. I really enjoyed this episode. I quite liked that it was less about the whole gung ho, like sort of gunfights and stuff that it was last time.
Yeah,
And there was a lot more Star Trekking involved.
there was.
And I did enjoy the whole subplot. I really enjoyed the subplot with Sarek.
Yes, and we got another mention of Spock as well. So
Yeah, it's like a full-on mention this time as well. Like, it
I
was
could,
very...
yeah, I could kind of understand with Sarek that he would choose his son because he would have thought because
Of course, I
his
mean,
son
so
is
he...
half Vulcan as well. It's an impossible decision,
Yeah,
and it
so...
didn't make any difference. He made that decision because Spock was like, "No, I'm going to go enjoy Starfleet."
Well, that's it. And obviously he felt like he'd done a disservice to her by doing that.
Yeah.
And she made it pretty clear. So he kept this a secret for all these years. And and she made it perfectly clear that she just didn't care.
No.
Like, of course he'd choose his son. She had no... You know, she didn't even consider that would be an issue.
No.
So
Now
kind
we
of
know why
reconciled
they
a bit.
have this whole connection as well, because they didn't really go into it when it first happened. So
No, but
there's a lot going on in that episode.
No, we all knew that the whole explosion thing was going to be important somewhere or another, though, didn't we?
Yes.
So that's kind of come out a little bit more now. I enjoyed that aspect of it as well. I think we're starting to get a little bit more of an arc in that respect.
Yes, definitely.
I also like Lorca's subplot in this one. I'm starting to. I started liking him last episode. I'm really starting to like him now as a character, like, and as a captain as well. Like, he didn't even hesitate. He didn't even hesitate to help Sarek.
No, but it wasn't to help Sarek. It was for Michael's benefit. He admitted to it as well.
Of course, and that's fine. Like, I mean, obviously, as a captain, he wants everyone to be at their best, and that's completely fine. But I just really enjoyed. I'm really enjoying his arc. When he started off, I was convinced he was going to be a villain of some sort. I mean, it's Jason Isaacs.
Kind of starting to see why he's the way he is as well.
Yeah, he has every reason.
He's definitely got. Oh, what's it called? Is it
PTSD?
PTSD. Yeah.
He's suffering with PTSD. He's lied about his sort of mental state on all of the exams and stuff that he's had to do after what happened. I mean, we still haven't had a full-on readout of what happened on that ship. I mean, obviously they've given us enough details, but we haven't had a full idea of what happened, and he's clearly still suffering from it. And I think that his friend, is it the Admiral, his friend?
Yes.
Came to visit? So obviously she's now in danger, so he's going to have to go and save her.
I kind of saw that coming. I thought she was actually going to die. I thought maybe, has he sabotaged it? No. And the way he walked away, I was like, no, maybe he hasn't sabotaged it, but he knows that she's going to be in some sort of danger. It's almost, it definitely benefited him with that happening.
In a way, I don't think it's nefarious, though. I'm starting to think that he is unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I feel like that is the reason why he sees eye to eye with Michael. It was kind of put on today, wasn't it? Because what's her name? The woman in it was talking about the fact that that like her roommate was talking about the fact that he seems to have adopted the tactical guy that helped him out of prison.
Yes.
And obviously when Michael kind of states, like, Michael says something, she's like, well, I don't know why you're saying that. You're the first one that he did. And it's true.
Yeah.
Like, he has a soft spot for her, and I think it's because...
And look at that cadet. Like, you look at her, and she doesn't seem like she's the sort of person the captain picked. But the reason he picked her is not because of her physical ability, it's her mental ability. She's very clever. She's good at what she knows.
Exactly.
He knows who he's got on his ship.
And obviously, that's what Michael was telling her, wasn't it? Because she was saying about why am I doing all the physical stuff, and she's like, well, because you are already fine in the mental department. We all know that, but you need to be able to do the physical side of being a captain.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed it. Like I like that sort of spin on it, and again, as I said, I really enjoyed the Lorca subplot
I
in this
love
one.
I love the little scene in the what do they call it? It's not canteen, but anyway, where the mess they call it,
Yes.
and ordering her food. And she's like, no, change that.
Oh yeah, that did make me laugh.
And then she whispers to the computer, "I'll have salsa on it."
And then she's like, "No, tomato salsa." It's like, you're kind of
Yeah.
scary. Yeah, I did like that. It's like having a personal trainer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do like the moments that those two have.
yeah, they have a really good.
Oh.
I think their relationship starts to spark off something. I think the reason though is because they haven't had anything to do together thus far.
No.
Really. Like every time they go
And
on
the captain-
missions, it's been like
Yeah.
multiple people there. So
And Michael's like, "No, I want her to come with me," and it's like, "Yeah, fine." Well,
Yeah.
I'm picking the pilot.
well, yeah, that's fine. And I mean, I'm really starting to like Lorca as a captain. I think I had a little bit of bias because it's Jason Isaacs and he very rarely plays a good guy.
This is true.
But I feel like they've utilized that ability he has to be quite sinister in a way to put people on edge of his character a little bit. But the more I'm getting out of him, the more I just feel like he's. I think, as I said, I think he just sees a lot of himself in Michael, in regards to the PTSD elements of it. Obviously, she's not showing it because she's got the Vulcan side of her, but
Yes.
she clearly is suffering from that to some extent.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Um,
And he must have, like, because I know they would have the whole on record of what happened and what she did, but he must know that there's more to it as well.
Yeah, of course. He must
Because
know.
the way this, yes, she did. It was mutiny, but she was if she was allowed to shoot at the Klingons, they wouldn't have this war. Obviously, we wouldn't have the whole storyline and everything, but she was doing the right thing.
She was, precisely, and obviously he respects that of her, which I like because it's a very good character arc for him to have.
Oh yeah.
It's a very good character trait, and yeah, I'm kind of happy that he's a lot more on board now, and obviously as you said, it's made it quite clear that it's for her benefit. He doesn't care what he's doing as long as she is happy.
Yeah.
And that's a very big thing for a captain to say. He's really, I mean, obviously now he's put her on the bridge as well, so he's now she's now part of his inner circle, which is a massive deal. I love that scene where he's like, you're not allowed to say no, and she's just like, I wasn't going to say no anyway, like
I accept.
yeah, I'm all about that
Straight away.
yeah, that bit did crack me up. But yeah, I kind of feel like the crew is now starting to come together, and this is what, like, so the issue I had with last episode is starting to get really gung-ho, and they kept splitting people up.
Yes.
And we've not seen, like, I mean, Star Trek for me has always been like, the crew going on a mission, trekking basically, like discovering new things and doing, like, everything seems to be very broken up. Everyone is on their own, like maybe two people go here and two people go there and one person goes there, and the more they do that, I get they're doing character building, but they're not doing team building. No. I feel like this episode was more about the team building, like everyone was learning to trust each other. Everyone was learning to understand how people work, and we were understanding the inner relationships as well, and why people tick the way they do. I mean, I learned a lot about Captain Lorca in this episode more than anything else, but we also learned a lot about the guy, the pilot. I mean, obviously he's a very able person, but he's also very into the whole chain of command thing. When he lies to Lorca about the gun, how many kills he got. And Lorca gets kind of angry at him, doesn't he? Like,
yeah, it's like, no, you don't lie to me about things like that.
I don't care if you're better than me. That's what I want you to be. I'm captain. Yeah. I'm not meant to be walking around with a gun in my hand. That's not the point of me.
No, not at all.
Like, that's your job. So if you're better than me then I've chosen right. Like, don't make me out to be better than you. It's not worth it.
No, it's not.
So I like that, and also again them two being roomies, like Michael, and I really need to remember her name. But them two being roommates, and obviously that's now sort of blossoming into a proper friendship now.
Definitely,
like it's clearly going to go far, and I still feel like they've missed a trick with this whole her becoming a captain thing. I feel like they could have made her be someone else from Star Trek. Like, no, I don't care who it would be, but I feel like they should have made her be a captain from Star Trek, even if it's just like a name that's mentioned in the background.
Yeah.
In one of the episodes. I'm thinking back to what's the film that starts off with them like fighting the Borg cube at the beginning. There's like literally hundreds of Starfleet ships.
Yes.
And they could have just had her, like, if it's just one of the captain's
First
names.
Contact.
That's the one, yeah. And if it's just one of the captain's names just read out and be like, yeah, no, we'll just choose that name. Like.
Oh, it's Sylvia Tilly.
Yeah.
Cadet Tilly. That's it.
Yes.
So I had to look it up. It's not good. They're saying, yeah, her roommate, she has a name.
Tilly. I just feel like if they had a Captain Tilly at some point in Star Trek, it would have been so much better. Like, getting to see her origin in a really... Like, I like the idea of having an origin story that's not really about her. Like, she's just in the background.
Would be so cool. That would be just a little nod to it.
A little bit of fan pickup. Like, as I said, it hasn't got to be a main character. Like, I'm not talking about...
something that Star Trek diehard fans would be like, oh!
Yeah, like, it hasn't got to be like Janeway or something. I don't care about that. I just mean, like, someone who's been mentioned by name, just have her in there. It'd be perfect.
Oh, it'd be so good.
I feel like they missed a bit of a trick. I'm especially considering how much of I wasn't sure if I was going to like her as a character at first, when she first got introduced, because she was a bit too ditzy for me. But as it's going on, I feel like the reason they've done it is because she balances out Michael's character, because Michael was the opposite of her in every way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Michael was like Terminator, and Tilly is like the kid from Terminator 2. Like, they are that balancing act where one is just really over the top, one is really subdued.
What, she's like John Connor.
She's like John Connor, yeah. I'm not saying like, you know, in so many words, but you know, like, how he's really OTT and a bit.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of charisma and he's very out there, and obviously you got Terminator, who's very. Like, very, you know, just has no charisma whatsoever. He's just a robot, and that their double act works really well because of that. But on their own, they'd be really boring to watch, if that makes sense.
Oh, I like the fact that what she called Sarek at the end, so she was leaving the med bay.
Yes.
I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil it for other people, but I really like this episode and that whole thing with them, with their link. Because I've not seen that before.
No, it's always been spoken about, hasn't it? And obviously, as I said, it's like an ancient myth almost, isn't it? That they have the, like, Vulcan soul.
Yes.
It's always spoken about as if it's a myth, and obviously when she's like, no, it's not, it's real, and, you know, I'm part of that.
Yes.
I quite like the idea, and I mean, it's a very good platform to try these things out as well, if I'm honest, because whether or not this show fails or succeeds.
Oh, you say that. It's been announced today there will be a second season.
Very good. There we go. So I must have been getting some good ratings then. I mean, obviously it's Star Trek, so I'm not going to say it's not. But obviously it's the platform, because obviously Star Trek is a TV show. Having it on Netflix and having the pay barrier in the way sometimes puts people off. I know a lot of people. I mean, Netflix. Almost everyone has Netflix, but not everyone has Netflix. No. And obviously that automatically puts a barrier in your fan base. So it was a very risky way to go. But if they've got enough views, then fair play to them. I mean, it's worked for Marvel, and it's worked for a few other like big franchises. So why not Star Trek? I mean, it means they get the funding they need. If nothing else.
They are definitely using the money, aren't they? Look at the quality of the. It is like almost like watching like half a film every time. It's because
it's got the JJ quality. I very much think they've very much, so the bar is set in terms of characterization. That is very much set on the sort of old school Star Trek style, and then the look and feel is very much JJ. They've literally taken JJ style.
They have.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few bits. Obviously, we've spoken about the warp stuff.
Less white. Oh, and they also mentioned the constitutional class starship, a certain starship.
Yes, they did. Yes. Yeah, and they're not going to tie it together, though. I think it would be a bit weird if they did that this soon on. Maybe next season they'd get away with it more, but if they did that now, I'll be a bit like, you just...
But it means that... See, I'm not sure, because she spoke about a certain constitutional class ship.
Yes.
But Spock is younger than her, from what I got. So I'm not sure if that lines up correctly.
I'm not sure.
Because I thought that...
You may as well just say the name, because, like, I've got spoilers written all over everything.
No, it's fine. Yeah, no, because the Enterprise was first under Captain Pike.
Yes.
Of course, I forget.
Yeah, and then it's given over to to Kirk. Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I don't know how long Pike has it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but they do mention because they have mentioned Captain Pike here.
Well, actually, you're saying. I mean, obviously, I'm basing this off very limited knowledge, but I mean, the way they played it in JJ's version is that Pike only has her for her maiden voyage. If you think about it.
Yes,
literally
that's right.
I mean, the first Star Trek film that JJ made. I mean, he takes her.
I think it was more of a what's it called? Play homage to it.
I think it's more than likely, yeah. But I mean, if we're going timeline wise, obviously, I don't know what the timeline was originally, but the timeline in JJ's, depending on which one they're basing
everything can change, can't it? Because they changed the timeline, didn't they?
I don't know what timeline they're basing this off, and have they actually said where this is going to sit, or is it going to be its own universe until they decide? I mean, fair play to them if they make it its own universe until they have definitely got enough traction to keep it going. But I don't know whether.
It's only actually set roughly 10 years before the events of the Star Trek original series.
Okay, and is that the universe they're sitting it in? Because okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so that's why you've still got the Enterprise there, because these ships have to be built to last.
Of course. Okay.
Obviously, you can update them. So yeah, that does make sense.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just going, obviously, if we go by the JJ side of things, then obviously when Kirk becomes captain, I mean acting captain at that point, he's basically in this maiden voyage.
Yeah.
So if they have introduced or just named it in this, then obviously that's going to be. But then I'm saying that, but then obviously there are multiple versions of the Enterprise as well, aren't there? I mean, there's obviously the NX version isn't there as well.
Well, that's set like
before
100 years. I think it's about 100 years before.
In the before times.
It's when it first started. I think it's the Falcons didn't really want us to go out into space. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we could. So basically,
they controlled us for too long, and it was one of the first of its kind ships.
Yeah. So basically, what we're saying is it could be any version of these. Then, so it might not even be the version that Pike actually has. It could just be a version of the Enterprise. Because
it's the Enterprise. It's the Enterprise original TV series is a constitutional class Enterprise. I'm sure it is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not denying that. But I mean, is it the only time it's being classed as that, or is that the only? I don't know how it works. Obviously.
No.
USS Enterprise is a name that's used even now because they have an aircraft carrier called USS Enterprise. So.
Yes, that's. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Federation. Don't care about any of that.
I know, but I'm just saying how names work. They
rename
things.
That's why they have the A, B, C, D, and E, and I think there's been F as well.
Yeah, but they wouldn't turn around and say the Enterprise A in the series, would they?
No, because it started off just as the Enterprise, and then when she got her overhaul,
yeah,
she wasn't A. That's why they wouldn't meant to say it.
Okay, no, that's fair.
And you would still call it Enterprise anyway. It's the registration that has the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and everything on there.
Yeah,
she's like the flag. Enterprise has always been like the flagship of the Federation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
sorry.
So it's fine.
I love the Enterprise.
No, I mean, this is why I want to do this for you. If I did this on my own, I'd be completely out of my depth. What?
It's all right. I just something fell down.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go back through. So we talked about Sarek and all that lot. Well, it's a few miss. This episode was quite streamlined. I'm going to say that because I'm now thinking we've almost covered everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, the only other thing we've got is obviously we touched on the whole Lorca thing with the Admiral. So obviously, potentially getting his captaincy taken away from him, but obviously that, as of the end of the episode, seems unlikely.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of what happened with her.
And the whole thing was as like he come up and said, "Oh yes, the Admiral's been taken. Blah blah blah. What should we do? Inform Starfleet."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think personally that.
But he is doing the right thing because of what's happening at the moment. And as he said, it could be another trap.
Yeah, I think there's two sides to this. Obviously, you could look at it and go, oh, he's being a bit of a prick because of the fact that she said what she said to him. But I think he respects her. Yes. And I think because he respects her, I think literally what he's trying to say is actually take a step back. What do I really need to do here? Because he's right. I mean, potentially the Klingons know that he has a soft spot for her. and that's the reason they've taken her. So fair.
Well, they probably knew where she came from because she was on board the Discovery. They want to get their hands on the Discovery.
That's what I mean. And he knows that because when he was last captured, they were talking about it. That's what they're torturing him for. So yeah, he's right. He shouldn't be running into this situation. And he did make a mistake with Sarek, but he did it for Michael. He wasn't doing it for himself. Obviously, he didn't say that because he didn't want to throw her under the bus. But that's the reason why he did it. So I'm not actually thinking that he's doing something bad here. I think he's actually looking at logic and going, actually, I need to stop rushing into these situations because it's going to be bad. Sarek is a good...
He should have saved Sarek anyway because he's very good with negotiations. He's dealt with the Klingons before. He did he's done the whole thing with humans before.
And if anything, it's a good thing what happened to Sarek did happen as well, though. Because otherwise he would have been captured by Klingons, and I don't actually know what's worse.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I really enjoyed this episode. It's definitely opened up a lot of I feel like the so every good sci-fi stroke fantasy story has to have this sort of tragic or like the momentum to push people on to do something. I feel like we finally hit that. It's taken this long.
Yeah.
Like we're now taking us 6 episodes to get there, but I feel like we finally hit that moment where we're going to be propelled through the rest of the plot. Because, I mean, unless they clear this up really quickly, but it seems like it's going to be like the whole Save the Admiral situation.
Yes.
Which is a good plot point to be on. The fact they actually ended an episode on that, because this is the issue I've had. Every time something like this has happened, they've resolved it before the episode's ended.
Yeah, they have, but they've actually left it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, the fan they've left on the cliffhanger for once makes you feel that this is going to go on for a little bit longer. This is going to be a big point to play, because obviously it's now going to bring them against the Klingons properly, not just in little skirmishes here and there. They're actually going to have a proper fight about this.
Yep.
And I feel like it's going to actually resolve issues and actually get something moving so that we can actually justify a second season of this, which they've clearly put in. So I mean, I don't know how many more episodes are left.
Well, this was episode 6.
Is it 15? I think you said last time we spoke.
I think it is.
We're about almost halfway through, just under halfway. Although in terms of actual episodes for the season, if we forget the first 2, there were only 3 episodes in, so it's not too bad. We've had basically 2 episodes. Oh, sorry. 3 episodes.
We've got 2 more episodes left until they take the break, and then the second chapter. It says actually January 2018, so it's not long to wait because you've got all Christmas and everything, haven't you? So you've got the second half of November and then December.
There is also a lot of stuff they'll be competing with over the next few weeks, so they'll probably
have a break, come back in the new year because they'll never be like, I'm sick of Christmas, give me Star Trek again.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, well in that case then it's about 3 episodes into, or 3 or 4 episodes into the actual story arc then. So it's not too bad. I think the 2 first episodes have really thrown me in terms of the amount, because we haven't watched this for a while, but we're not really on episode 6 if you think about it in terms of actual story.
No, we're not.
So it's not too bad, I suppose. It's just you're getting lost in it, because I'm looking at the numbers going, I can't believe they're only just starting the storyline now, but really we've had a lot of character building, so it's fair. If it's taking a little bit longer.
On Wiki as well, you've got each episode has been directed by a different person.
They do this a lot,
written by Brian Fuller is on a few of them, but they seem to change a little bit as well.
Yeah, but
who
then
actually wrote them.
You get that with anything. You get that with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones does it all the time.
Because you have to have a whole team of writers. You're not all writing the same story.
And it's not just that. I mean, obviously they film these all concurrently. So if you have multiple directors, then you can have multiple episodes being filmed at the same time. So I mean, for instance, if I take Game of Thrones, they have usually each director gets 2 episodes each. So in a 10-episode season, you have 5 directors, which means you can have 5 different things being filmed simultaneously across the whole of.
Provided you haven't got the actors in different places.
Yeah, but then you work around it. So if you schedule the actors in, but these things are scheduled so perfectly now that you would be able to film, even if it's just sweeping shots for city. Do you know what I mean? You just have them doing stuff, and it means that you're not wasting any time. Then everything's being done. Someone's always doing something, and it means that you're getting everything you need in a really short space of time, rather than having one director. I mean, it's easier to have multiple directors and limited actors than to have one director and all the actors, because you're not going to get any more done.
No, you're not.
You're still going to have a
You'll
B
take
unit
longer.
somewhere doing like the odd shots with extras and stuff, but you're still going to have someone else doing something because you just haven't got enough time in the day. So
No,
that's
that's
why I
true.
do it. So it's a good idea for a TV show, especially
Yeah.
of this sort of scale, because we're not talking
Yeah.
Star Trek with cardboard boxes and stuff. We're talking Star Trek with really full on special effects and stuff. So you're not just using time in filming, you're going to have a lot of post production time as well, which is another reason why they have a gap, because they'll be doing post production for the first half of the season and then they'll go back in and do the second half of the season. So they'll probably be doing it now up until Christmas. They're doing post production. And scoring and stuff, because they do that. They have to be almost as last minute as possible, in order to make sure they're making good time. But
And they don't want to give anything away.
and that as well, like the longer something's sat on the shelf, the more likely it is to be spoiled.
Yeah, because even on the wiki page, I know anyone can update it, this, that, and the other. The next 3 episodes, it's just TBA for writer and directors, and there's nothing to tell you what the story is.
That's good
For
though.
that
It means
episode.
they've done a good job of
I
keeping it
like
under
that.
wraps. I mean,
Yes.
but the thing is, they kind of kept it very quiet anyway. I mean, all we had really before the main trailer was just that little shot of them, of the ship, which wasn't the ship in the end. Actually, it was the Glen, wasn't it, or something like that, or whatever. The Aztec-looking ship they had originally, it was all bronze and weird looking. That didn't actually end up being the Discovery, and everyone was moaning about how bad it looked.
Yeah.
You know the one I mean.
Yes.
Everyone was like, "It looks awful. What is this?"
Yep.
Yeah, and then obviously the actual thing looks much better. Although I'm still not used to spinning discs, but you know.
No, I don't like this. Well, we didn't have that this episode, so that's fine.
No, we didn't. No, I'm getting used to the negative spaces in the torso. It's different. I like it. I like the negative little rings that you get inside the saucer.
Yeah.
It's different. It's new, and like.
Yeah,
and
but
it
obviously
makes
the last, it
sense-
wasn't very practical.
No, but
'Cause
it,
no one-
well,
I don't know.
it makes sense in terms of
Have a look.
scale as well. I mean, like when you saw it, I mean, they gave us more of a sense of scale this episode actually, because you had that craning shot that went in, and you saw them running through that corridor.
Yes.
And the ship isn't actually that big because there wasn't like multiple layers to that corridor. It was one corridor running between the 2 sections. So it's only like
Yeah,
one.
and
It was
I've
only, like, that
got
bit's
actually
only.
an image on my page at the moment. That's all I've got. It's just for my YouTube. It's just an image of and when you look, especially like on the inside of the outside ring, on the inner side, it's only 2 rows of lights. I don't know if there's anything
Yeah.
in between that.
So I mean that
The
walkway
middle
is only.
section, yeah,
Yeah, I mean that walkway is only 1 deck thick.
yes. So
So I don't think it's a really that big a ship, to be honest. I mean, what I'm saying that obviously I started that. I need to finish it at some point, but I started that Discovery build on Space Engineers, and I mentioned in that it seems very small for a ship because I think it was only like 244 meters in length, which sounds a lot. But then when you actually put a person next to it, it's like that's not that big. It's not that big at all.
no. Let's have a look. Maybe I can find it quickly.
But it's a very
I
small.
know we looked this up before. I can't remember.
It's a very compact ship, I think.
Yes.
I looked up I had to do the specs for it because
Oh yes, I'll have to have. Oh, do you know what I'll have to dig out is an image, of a comparison with the enterprises that we know now.
now that it's out, they'll probably do more than the thing is because there was no actual images for ages.
No.
So when I was trying to build this bloody thing, I spent ages trying to find a picture of it, and obviously, as I said to you, it's the wrong picture because it's not actually the version in the show that I got a picture of in the end. But that's because there was literally no pictures at all. It wasn't until I watched the show that I realised, like for instance, the bridge is on its own little orb in the middle. I didn't even know that.
No.
So yeah, it's being kept very under wraps. Even the look of the ship, like the details of it. We knew it was going to be like a delta wing looking thing, but that's about the only. That's not about the only design element that's come across.
Certainly is.
Right. Anyway, we've been about half.
We have. We're now
just-
starting to talk about the ship, not the
Yeah.
episode.
Just sort of just going on about stuff now.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll call it there. But
I think so.
final verdicts. I really enjoyed this episode. It was probably
Yeah,
my
I did.
favorite.
I like how we've got that cliffhanger as well.
Yes, it was probably my
There's
favorite
gonna-
episode so far. It's I
Yes.
definitely put it up there. That's my favorite episode thus far.
Definitely.
So yeah, well, cheers for watching, guys. As usual, like and subscribe. Make sure you check out Geeky M's as well.
Yes, and anyone on my channel, please be sure to check out Woojamaflub. Is how I say it, Woojamaflub. Yes, and if Joe, I still haven't brought yet. I need to buy. Joe, I need to buy is a
What?
bell. Do you
yes,
know why I need a bell?
you
So
do.
I can ring it to remind people to hit that notification icon.
I have one. Hang on, 2 secs.
Oh.
Just keep talking. Keep
Yeah,
people
yeah,
occupied.
okay. I'll carry on talking. So, yeah, we have gone to find his bell.
I haven't actually
I don't
gone
know where
anywhere.
else.
I'm actually still here.
Oh, I thought you disappeared.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I've got a bell.
Oh, I was talking on my own. Have you?
Oh, that's too quiet. Hold on, 2 secs.
I didn't even hear that.
Ready?
Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm so glad I haven't got a camera on because this is me just swinging my phone around like a madman.
Oh my god, you've got a bell app.
I've got a bell app. It's okay, guys. Just so you know, if anyone has a spare moment, go on the App Store. It's just completely off subject, by the way, but it's amazing. Go on the App Store, put in Game of Shame, and what you download is an app that has this on it.
Shame.
Oh.
Shame.
And then if you shake your phone, it does the bell. It's the small things.
God.
It's the small things in life that make me satisfied.
So,
That's fine.
yeah, if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, definitely download the app.
Yeah, I do it all the time. It's amazing. Although it's the only awkward thing about it is it's just I haven't got it the easiest place to get to, so I end up having to go through pages and pages of other apps until I get there. I need to put up my homepage.
Do.
But it's definitely worth it. Just if anyone says anything stupid, just shame them. It's great.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see
Thank you very much.
in the next stream. Ta-ta.
Bye bye.